Hello, I'm Vera Simpun. Today, we're going to talk about something so important: 5 critical mistakes that I see many African parents make when dealing with the Jugendamt. That's Germany's youth welfare office. But what's even more important is how you can avoid them and how you can protect your family.
This feeling, it is just so common. I hear stories like Alma's all the time, where a simple misunderstanding suddenly spirals into a formal investigation. It's that awful feeling of being judged, of not being heard, of being completely and utterly alone. But listen to me, it does not have to be this way.
This is what I do. I've dedicated my entire career to this work. With over 16 years as a social worker and an advocate, I've been in those very meeting rooms, and I've seen firsthand how families can shift from a place of fear to a place of real confidence.
Now, here's a really important shift in perspective. The issue is almost never, ever about a lack of love for your children. Of course not. The real challenge is a lack of understanding of a very complex system. And you know what? That is something we can absolutely fix together.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We are going to break down the 5 most common mistakes that I see. And for every single one, I'm going to give you a clear, powerful strategy to help you turn the situation around. So, first up, this is a reaction that is completely understandable, but it can be really damaging. When you get that call or letter from the Jugendamt, your heart might start pounding. You feel fear, maybe anger. You get defensive. That's natural. But the key, the absolute key, is to not let those emotions dictate your actions. Just look at the difference here. An emotional outburst can so easily be misinterpreted as instability, maybe even confirming their concerns. But a strategic response, that tells them that you are calm, you're in control, and you're taking the matter seriously. So prepare your points ahead of time, and I always recommend bringing the support person with you. This simple phrase is so powerful. It does 2 things. It validates their concern, but it also creates an opportunity for you to provide that crucial cultural context. See, it's not defensive, it's educational. It helps build a bridge of understanding. The second mistake is often driven by a fear of being judged. It's that instinct to maybe hide certain details about your life. Maybe it's about your finances or your housing situation or even how you handle discipline at home. But hiding things, it almost always backfires because it breaks down trust. The real solution is what I call strategic honesty. This means you provide the necessary context for them to actually understand your world. This is what builds credibility and shows that you have nothing to hide. And please, this is so important. Remember that you are always allowed to pause a conversation and seek advice. Saying this doesn't mean you're being difficult, it means you're being careful and responsible. It's truly a sign of strength. All right, let's move on to a very sensitive topic. This is where cultural values can come into direct conflict with German law, and it is a major point of misunderstanding. The law here is unambiguous. Any form of physical discipline is illegal. This comes from a core belief in the German system that every child has an absolute right to a nonviolent upbringing. But this doesn't mean you have to abandon your values of respect and order. Not at all. The strategy is to learn new tools, positive parenting techniques, that achieve the same goals and are fully compliant with the law. This next mistake is a purely practical one, but believe me, the consequences can be huge. Just relying on your memory of conversations and what was promised verbally, it's a recipe for confusion and disputes down the line. So the solution is simple. Write everything down. Keep what I call a Jugendamt Journal. This becomes your proof, your record. After every single call or meeting, you note the date, who was there, and what was discussed. It shows that you're organized and that you're taking this process very seriously. Remember this. It is such a small habit, but it provides an enormous layer of protection for you and for your family. And now for the final and perhaps the most critical mistake of all. Too many parents wait. They wait until the situation has become a full-blown crisis before they even think about reaching out for professional support. Waiting until it's an emergency dramatically limits your options. The time to act is at the very first sign of a problem. That confusing letter you got, or a concerned call from a teacher. Being proactive is what gives you control. Getting help early isn't a sign of weakness. It is the most powerful act of protection you can possibly take for your family. So it's one thing to know all these strategies, right? But how do you actually put them into practice, especially when you're feeling stressed out and completely overwhelmed?
The truth is, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. And that is precisely why I created Parent Compass Hub. To be that professional, culturally aware support system that so many families need but just can't seem to find. We offer qualified, culturally aware guidance. This means personal coaching, real help understanding the law, effective parenting tools that actually respect your values, and maybe most importantly, a safe community of parents who know exactly what you're going through. So I invite you to make that choice today. Choose to be proactive. Choose to be supported. You can take the first step right now. Visit us at parentcompass.org to learn more, and you can join our supportive community directly on our school platform. Please don't wait for a crisis to build your support system. Remember, you are not alone in this, and you are far from helpless. You are a parent with all the strength that comes with that, and we are here to walk with you every single step of the way.